Nicki B.
Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, thank you so much, Coco Jenkins. For that fire song. You can find more from Coco at Coco Jenkins Beats on Instagram. Welcome to the Heal Out Loud show with Nicki B. You remember me as your neighborhood encyclopedia during the Wake Up Squad morning show. Keeping you updated on what was happening in the canna industry here in Las Vegas, nationally, and globally. This year, the journey is going to have a new look with the same mission. I am so excited to share with you the Heal Out Loud show. We're going to make sure that our sound here is still good. Seven years, I've had the privilege of hearing hundreds of patient stories, and all of them deserve a platform. I say it is time to remove the shame from and stigma from using plants as medicine. Healing out loud means aligning yourself with patients, caretakers, and medical professionals who have beaten the odds and forged their own unique path to a happier and healthier reality. Uh, Thank you to LP Exotics for supporting the show and believing in the mission. LP Exotics is a woman-owned brand. Shout out to Mariana, the Lamborghini princess, whose brand colors match mine, purple and green. You can find LP Exotics products at Hardin, Nuwu, Thrive, and many more dispensaries throughout the valley. Visit their website, lpexotics.com, to learn where you can purchase products. I have quite the show lined up for you today. First up, my interview with Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams rose to fame after winning the Heisman Trophy in 1998, and after several seasons in the NFL, retired after testing positive for cannabis. He has been quoted as saying that his personal goal is to elevate the legitimacy of canna as medicine and the respect of medical professionals for canna users. Let's jump into this interview to learn more about Ricky Williams and what he has been doing since he left the NFL. I am so excited to try Sticky Ricky. Visit my YouTube channel, Heal Out Loud with Nicki B, for that review and more of my interview with Ricky. I wanted to share with you that I have been playing with the Leela app, which is described as an astrology and spirituality app that inspires action and reminds you that your destiny is in your own hands. It explores your individual birth chart, gives a daily horoscope, and something called an astrology planetary weather report. So fascinating. Visit leelaverse.app to learn more. Leela is spelled Lila. Shout out to Green Life Productions, No-Till Living Soil, and the only triple certified organic licensed canna cultivator in the state. I have also partnered with Green Life Productions and Green Life Produce. If you did not know, Green Life Production grows organic canna and organic produce, which they sell at farmers markets around the city and from their farm stand in Pahrump. You can learn more about them at greenlifeproductions.com. If you are looking to do something different than Super Bowl activities this weekend, then join us at BloomCon on Saturday. Ricky Williams will be attending BloomCon at the Lexi Hotel, which is the only consumption hotel in the city. Let's hear a little bit from my interview with Ricky Williams. Show, our premiere show. It is an honor to have you on this platform and be able to share with us some of your stories. So thank you so much. I wanted to start with allowing you to give us a brief introduction of who is Ricky Williams. Please tell us.
To me, if you ask someone who they are, it kind of forces them to put themselves into a box.
You know? Right. And you don't fit into a box.
I don't. I've tried. I'm telling you, I've tried so hard to fit into so many boxes, and regardless of how hard I tried, I just can't seem to fit. But I can answer your question. I'm an information junkie, and I think there's two pieces of that. One is, what is the quality of the information that I'm taking in, because it's going to have a lot to do with the quality of the information that I'm giving out. So I'm an information junkie and a teacher, which means, and you know, my kids kind of joke about it, but it means if you spend any quality time with me, right, for it to be quality for me, we both have to be learning something.
Ooh, I love that. That's the point of the show, Healing Out Loud with Nicki B, is to share with people my own personal journey of healing and to educate them, to empower them to be ambassadors for their own health, be an advocate for their own health. I'm so excited to have you on the platform today. And every time I hear you speak, you mention how cannabis was instrumental in your well-being. And that is why you chose cannabis over alcohol in your college days. I remember you telling that story to the chamber last year. And can you please share with us your plant medicine journey for those people who don't know, and how it has framed your work since you left football?
Yeah, it's plant medicine. And I think a lot of people, especially in the industry, because it's a plant industry, start with the plant. As a human being, I feel compelled to start with the medicine. The way I grew up, when something hurts, you just take some Advil. And that's what I was doing. But because football hurts a lot, I was taking a lot of Advil. And I remember I was 20. I was right after my 20th birthday. I was playing baseball, and my stomach started hurting, and I couldn't hold any food down. So I went to the doctor, and one of the first questions the doctor asked me is like, "Do you take ibuprofen?" And I said, "No, I take Advil." And he said, "That's ibuprofen." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You have an ulcer." Is what he told me. And I was like, "From what?" And he's like, "From the Advil." I was like, "Advil can't give you an ulcer." Oh my God. And he showed me that it could. And so that's when I've had to start realizing I got to find a different form of medicine if I want to keep doing this for a long time. And I started talking to my neighbor more, and she started talking to me about cannabis and that it can have the same kind of effect. And I've been using cannabis, but I never made the connection. And when I did, everything changed for me. And I had the felt lived experience of what people mean when they say that this is medicine.
And that's led you down your plant medicine journey.
It sure has. At least from what I found to this point, this thing about productivity, you use what works. And so going along my path, I've found that what's worked most consistently and helped me maintain the quality of my life has been plant medicine by far. So when I found therapy, when I found cannabis, when I found ayahuasca, psilocybin, I found all these processes, astrology. I found all these processes that helped me become more aware of my stuff so that I could do something with it instead of spending my life running away from it.
I heard a psychedelic session that is hosted here in Nevada. One of the attendees described using ayahuasca, psilocybin, psychedelics by being able to go in and unlock that box that you've locked your trauma away in. And the human body has a way of being able to process all of that trauma, and it does that by locking it away. And the psychedelics have a beautiful way of bringing that to the surface, like you said, and allowing you to deal with it, allowing you to push through it so you can get to the other side and be that productive human being.
Well said.
I know for me personally, psychedelics was transformative. I did ayahuasca for the first time in 19. And that was about 12 years after losing my dad and my sister in a fatal car accident. And I just had not been able to deal with that trauma of losing them in that way. They were on their way to my 25th birthday party. And when they died in that car accident. And so that type of trauma took a toll on me. I used sex and cocaine to try to manage and mute that pain and the trauma. And that culminated into HIV 10 years later. And so I heard that you're doing a collaboration here in Nevada with Green Life Productions. Is that true?
Yeah, it's really cool how it all came about. From my experience and what I've heard, GLP, they grow some of the best flower in Nevada. And
yes, they do.
As I've gotten more into become more and more of a connoisseur, I really do appreciate organic living source. And I found a strain that I really liked, a cultivar that I really liked, and I tagged it Sticky Ricky, and we're rolling with it. So
Steve and Quanine, amazing human beings, and I'm so grateful that they decided to partner with me this year. I'll also be doing reviews on Sticky Ricky, because when it comes out, I will make sure that I get me some of that. And so that's going to be launching this week, right? Super Bowl week.
Yeah, we're really focusing on Planet 13 and cookies.
You are going to be at BloomCon this weekend. Hopefully, will people be able to see you at the Lexi Hotel this weekend?
I'll be there. Yep. Sure will.
Okay, good to know. Is anything you want to share with our audience?
And I've created an app that's in the App Store, and the app is called Lila, Lila.
Oh, well, congratulations. I thought I knew all the business, but I didn't know about that. So Lila, Lila, it's an app you can download it. Folks, don't forget, I'll be giving away a couple of pair of tickets to BloomCon, so make sure you tune in. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. Ricky, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Oh, man, I cannot wait to try this Sticky Ricky. Remember, you can find it at Cookies and Planet 13 this week, launching this week. GLP, such an amazing brand. They are triple certified organic. Nobody else is doing that in the state. And they're also growing organic produce. So shout out to them and all of the amazing things that they do here in Nevada. If you're looking for something different to do this weekend, join us at BloomCon. BloomCon is an immersive consumer wellness convention presented by Kinship Gardens. This unique event serves as a nexus where enthusiasts, brands, artists, and cultural visionaries converge to explore the dynamic realms of canna, psychedelics, and other innovative wellness solutions. Industry-only access begins at 12 p.m. General admission begins at 2 p.m., and the convention goes until 8. Learn more by visiting bloomcon.com. Industry Pass is free for everyone with a registered agent card. If you do not work in the industry and you would like to win a pair of tickets to BloomCon, then call in now, 702-648-0104. My first two callers each win a pair of tickets. That number again is 702-648-0104. When a brand wants to come into the market, they have to partner with a licensed cultivator to grow their product, then partner with a licensed producer and manufacturer to make it into an edible or into a concentrate. Then find dispensaries that are willing to put their product on the shelf to be sold. Building relationships with license holders in the state and finding the right partners takes time and can be very pricey. Finding partners that align with your brand ethos is probably the most challenging. There are resources to help new brands. Shout out to the Grow Up Co-op. This woman-led company helps brands grow into their success in the market. I'm excited to share that I am serving on the Canna Advisory Commission subcommittee this year. The Canna Advisory Commission, CAC, was established through Assembly Bill 533 and signed into law by Nevada former Governor Steve Sisolak in 2019. The 12-person committee studies canna-related issues and makes recommendations to the CCB. Of the 12 members, 8 are appointed by the governor. based on the merit of their knowledge, skill, and experience, either within or outside of the cannabis industry. In addition to the 8 appointments, the CAC includes Nevada's Attorney General, the Director of the Nevada Department of Public Safety, the Executive Director of the Department of Taxation, and the Executive Director of the CCB, who serves as Chair of the CAC. I am serving on the Canna Advisory Subcommittee for Market Participation. The Market Participation Subcommittee will review and provide recommendations to the CCB board to establish a pilot program which identifies opportunities for emerging small canna businesses, which includes but is not limited to existing and new businesses. The businesses must be in the state of Nevada. Additionally, the subcommittee should consider recommendations for an establishment to qualify as an emerging business, including its number of employees and annual gross revenue. Per legislative language, the Market Participation Subcommittee should consider matters relating to the participation of women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, LGBTQ-owned businesses, and local agriculture in the canna industry when making their recommendations. The Canna Advisory Commission Subcommittee on Market Participation first met on January 12th and will meet again this month. I am the only woman and person of color sitting on the committee, so I have been tasked with bringing ideas to the committee from those 2 groups, minority and women-owned. We want to hear from you. Email your ideas to cacmeetings@ccb.nv.gov. That is cacmeetings@ccb.nv.gov. All of these meetings are always streamed live, and you can always submit written comments and recommendations. The other subcommittee that was formed is the Federal Rescheduling Descheduling Subcommittee, which per Senate Bill 277 is required to conduct a study analyzing how Nevada's canna industry may be affected if canna were to be removed from federal scheduling pursuant to the Federal Controlled Substance Act. The Federal Rescheduling Descheduling Subcommittee will research and report their findings and make any recommendations for potential future legislation. This report will be presented to the Canna Advisory Commission for a review and comment. The final report must be submitted to the CCB on or before March 1st. Their next meeting is this Friday at 1 p.m. The next CCB board meeting is scheduled for February 15th at 9 a.m. at the Grant Sawyer building. They will be discussing amendments to Regulation 5. If you have a recommendation for the board, you could come in person and make public comment or email your comment to the CCB. These conversations are important because the scheduling of canna flower as a Schedule I drug since 1969 has allowed police and the justice system to criminalize patients for using, growing, and distributing canna flower. The Schedule I category also prevents research from being conducted in the United States. The most promising research on the plant's medicinal and therapeutic benefits have come from Israel in the last 40 years. As an advocate for plants as medicine, no one should be in prison for canna. And this conversation is relevant because the Biden administration's Health and Human Services Department sent a letter to the DEA last August requesting that canna be removed from a Schedule I category. According to the Controlled Substance Act, drugs in the Schedule I category have no medicinal value. In the last 60 years, patients have proven that canna has medicinal value and should not be grouped with toxic and lethal drugs like heroin and meth. We are expecting the DEA to have a response by the summer on whether or not to remove canna from the Schedule I category or remove from the Controlled Substance Act altogether. Senate Democrats have increased the pressure on the Biden administration to relax federal canna restrictions. In a letter addressed to the Drug Enforcement Administration this week, they urged reconsideration of canna descheduling. This letter, signed by a group of 12 senators led by Elizabeth Warren and John Fetterman, with the endorsement of Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, take a more decisive stance. The case for removing Mary Jane from Schedule I is overwhelming, the senator said. The DEA should do so by removing canna from the CSA altogether, rather than simply placing it in a lower schedule. The DEA recently informed lawmakers that despite the HHS's historic recommendation last summer, it retains the final authority to determine the scheduling, rescheduling, or descheduling of drugs under the Controlled Substance Act. based on scientific and medical evaluations. The White House had aspired to announce a decision regarding descheduling around the 1-year mark after President Biden's directive for the DEA to review the HHS's recommendation, which was issued in October of 2022. According to sources familiar with the situation, the administration had hoped to leverage this announcement as a campaign issue during the November elections. In their letter on Tuesday, the senators called for the Biden administration to promptly reclassify Canna from Schedule 1 and ultimately deschedule it. The Biden administration has a window of opportunity to deschedule Mary Jane that has not existed in decades and should reach the right conclusion, consistent with the clear scientific and public health rationale for removing Mary Jane from Schedule 1, and with imperative to relieve the burden of current federal Mary Jane policy on ordinary people and small businesses, they wrote. As these conversations continue around the country, Nevada has been a leader by creating Joint Resolution 8 last legislative session. This resolution was signed by the majority in the assembly, asking the federal government to deschedule Canna, remove it from the Schedule 1 category, and allow research of Canna to prove its medicinal value, and to stop criminalizing the plant's users. I was so grateful to our legislators for making the bold move at the state level last year during the Chamber of Canna's lobby days in Carson City. I was able to engage in the legislative process. If this is something that you are passionate about, then come to the Chamber of Canna free meeting tomorrow at Nuwu on Main Street at 6 p.m. Our special guest will be Senator Wynn, who was the sponsor of Senate Bill 242, which explores how to legalize psychedelic medicines. This comes after a push by lawmakers, veterans, and first responders during the last legislative session. The new Nevada law requires the Department of Health and Human Services establish a working group to discuss and study the therapeutic uses of psychedelics like mushrooms, and then take their findings back to the state. The other special guest will be Joe Bresney, the lobbyist that the Chamber of Canna hired to help us pass Senate Bill 277. Joe has been lobbying and fighting for legalizing Canna in Nevada since the beginning of medical legalization. He will be addressing the topic of reschedule versus deschedule and what it will mean for businesses and patients in Nevada. One more event happening this Friday that is free and open to the public. It is an NFL partner event called Beyond the Game, Tackling Mental Health, happening at the Pearson Community Center, 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Shout out to my friend and fellow advocate chef, Stacey Dugan. If you love her delicious vegan food as much as I do, then you will get to try some, as her Simply Pure food truck will be on site. And if you are passionate about being an advocate like I am and want to affect change on a national level, then join Minorities for Medical for Mary Jane. We have 33 chapters nationwide and are in 5 countries across the globe. We are the largest advocacy organization in the country, and after 7 years, we are not slowing down. It is free to become a member. Visit mmunited.org to learn more. During the week of April 20th, we have our federal lobby days in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. Volunteers are welcome to join us and learn how to speak to legislators about subjects that matter to you. My first experience as a Canna advocate was with M4MM, fighting for laws to be changed in Georgia, for patients to have safe access to Canna as medicine. After fighting for a year, I could not continue to risk my freedom or my health. So I decided to move to Nevada, where I had access to safe medicine. Patients in Georgia had to wait another 4 years before legal regulated Canna medicine came to the state. Since moving to Nevada, I am proud to partner with organizations like the Chamber of Canna and Decrim Nature to bring awareness to legislators on the importance of safe access to Canna medicine. And M4MM partnered with the Chamber of Canna in 2021 to legalize consumption lounges and add language to state statute that mentions social equity for the first time ever. We partnered with the Chamber again last year to pass Senate Bill 277 and Joint Resolution 8. If you want to see a change in laws that affect your quality of life, then you have to let your voice be heard. This is an election year, and the next administration in the White House will affect what happens with Canna and how it will affect you as a consumer, patient, or even a business owner. Be sure that you are an informed voter and ask yourself, are the individuals you vote for aligned with your beliefs? Stay tuned in, stay tapped in, and stay informed. Heal Out Loud with Nicki B will be on the Power 88 airways every first and third Wednesday of the month. You can always visit my YouTube channel, Heal Out Loud with Nicki B, to see more content, watch extended interviews, and to see an insider's view of the cannabis industry. This week, I started a 30-day detox because healing cannot begin without a clean slate. Thank you to the Alkaline Electric Goddess for creating a custom cleanse program for me based on my conditions. Last year, I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease, and the Alkaline Electric Goddess reversed her kidney disease using food. I want to share with you what I am doing to reverse my kidney damage using my food as medicine. Content will be posted daily on my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube channels. Follow and subscribe to Heal Out Loud Nicki B and watch the process unfold. Before I'm back on air on Wednesday, February 21st, I will be attending the Champs Trade Show, celebrating 25 years of the plant's counterculture. My YouTube channel, the show offers opportunities for these businesses to grow and gain current knowledge and product offerings, allowing them to better leverage their business in a thriving marketplace. My YouTube channel will have all the details and insider's perspective of attending this show. Remember, Heal Out Loud Nicki B, that is spelled Nicki on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, beautiful souls, this is Nicki B signing off, reminding you to heal out loud. Huh? Oh.